striking tide.
By this point, some of you guys probably think that I absolutely hate JJK, but it's quite the opposite really. I wouldn't be doing so many videos on it if I didn't like it so much, which is why I'm doing this video now. So watch till the end and let me cook. Joining the Gauntlet in this video will have the demon god himself, Yuji Itadori, going up against several Demon Slayer characters. And now that the JJK manga is finished, I can gauge Yuji's strength in regards to his opponents a lot more accurately since the last time I featured him. That crazy chapter hadn't come out yet while I was working on the video, which made a lot of people upset. But things are very different now. And as always, spoiler warnings for both the JJK and the Demon Slayer manga. That being said, if you guys are ready to see some real epic and badass fights, then make sure to subscribe and hit that bell while you're down there. And if you're interested in learning how I make these animations, then I've officially opened memberships for this channel where I show my whole process in making these fights. You'll be supporting the channel and also get early access to these videos before anyone else, along with some other cool perks. But without any further ado, let's get straight into this with Yuji's first opponent. Yuji vs Inosuke Hashibira. Now, this would probably be just an intense brawl between those two characters since they both excel at close-range combat. In his first appearance in Season 1, we saw how well Inosuke could fight in his short exchange with Tanjiro. And over the course of the series, he gets strong enough to behead Upper Moon 6's Daki, and fast enough to start dodging attacks from Upper Moon 2's Doma's Blood Demon art. And in a similar way to Yuji, Inosuke is probably one of the most insanely durable characters in all of Demon Slayer. So I could definitely see Yuji having a bit of trouble with landing a decisive blow on Inosuke at first. Although I don't see his beast breathing being able to overwhelm Yuji in his crazy abilities. Even Sukuna himself starting throwing up fingers when Yuji was landing these devastating blows on him. So you could only imagine what he could do to someone that's a lot less durable than the King of Curses. The current version of Yuji would unfortunately be way too much to handle for Inosuke, even with his talents.
Black blood!
Kill confirmed.
His KD? 1-0. Let's see who he's got next. Yuji vs Manta Sleep, the sponsor of today's video. Now, if you've been watching me for these past few months, you probably noticed that I've been pumping out content like crazy and animating like I work for MAPPA. So getting some good night's sleep is absolutely necessary for me to keep this engine running smoothly. And Manta Sleep helps me do just that. They make the world's best sleep mask and functional sleep accessories to help you get the best naps you could ever ask for. The one I have right now is the Manta Sleep Mask Pro, but they offer a large variety of other masks to suit your needs. There's the steam mask, the cool mask, the weighted mask, and the sound mask which has actual Bluetooth speakers on it. And each one of them are adjustable to fit everyone. They offer 100% blackout with some insanely soft and breathable materials. And the eye cups put absolutely zero pressure on your eyes or your eyelids. So if you want to take your naps to the next level, then check out Manta Sleep in the description below and use my code A-roni to get 10% off your first order. And thank you Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Yuji vs Giyu Tomioka. His first battle against the Hashira, and a pretty strong one at that. In this case, Giyu's speed would probably be the biggest factor for him to land attacks on Yuji.
Water breathing, fourth form, striking tide.
Now obviously he's not the fastest Hashira. There's a lot of other Hashiras that are definitely way faster than him, and honestly, I'm not even sure if he's faster than Zenitsu. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. Although he did manage to completely blitz Rui in Season 1 with pretty much no effort whatsoever. And his Demon Slayer mark did give him a pretty nice boost when he was fighting Akaza. But even that wasn't enough to overpower him. And since we're talking manga Yuji in this video, in the same way the demons do, he would be able to regenerate from all the wounds that Giyu inflicts on him with his reverse curse technique, giving him a huge advantage against pretty much any human in the Demon Slayer verse. Now, you might think Giyu could just chop off Yuji's head and that would be the end of it, since Sukuna stated that the RCT resides inside the brain in his fight with Gojo. But I'm pretty sure he would be able to dodge those fatal slashes with ease. Before he even got his awakening, he was keeping up with a fully awakened Maki and dodging piercing blood. So I don't think Giyu would just blitz Yuji. His speed is also no joke. And speaking of piercing blood, Yuji also gained the blood manipulation curse technique when he ate all of the other death paintings. Although he isn't as proficient with it as Chosa was, it's still another strong ability that he has in his arsenal. So just like in his fight with Akaza, it would only be a matter of time before Giyu eventually gets overwhelmed by Yuji and the devastating power of his attacks. His KD? 2-0. But let's see if his next opponent can fare better against him. Yuji vs Sanemi Shinazugawa. Compared to his last Hashibira fight, Sanemi would definitely give Yuji a bit more of a run for his money. Him being the strongest Hashibira beyond Gyomei himself would make him a lot stronger and faster than Giyu in general, allowing him to possibly land more hits on Yuji with his wind breathing. But like I stated in the previous fight, Yuji's reverse curse technique would give him a huge advantage over Sanemi and allow him to pretty much regenerate from everything he does to him. Not only that, but Yuji has some crazy slashing power of his own when he uses Sukuna's Shrine curse technique. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for me to bring this up, and trust me, we'll get to all of Yuji's abilities in due time. But the bottom line is, both of them can cut each other. The difference is, the more Sanemi gets injured, the slower and less effective he becomes, which is something he stated himself in his battle with Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo, while Yuji is just going to be constantly regenerating. So you put that against Shrine, some crazy speed and power, blood manipulation, and the ability to pretty much land black flashes at will, and yeah, Sanemi's done. Yuji's KD? 3-0. Let's see if he can keep this streak going. Yuji vs Akaza. He finally goes up against a demon, which levels the playing field a little bit since both characters this time are going to be able to regenerate. But in this case, Akaza's regenerative capabilities would be even greater than Yuji's reverse curse technique. Cause even after he got beheaded in his fight with Giyu and Tanjiro, his body kept on fighting and his head was this close to completely regenerating, which is something I'm pretty sure only the top 3 Upper Moons can do, as well as Muzan of course. So if Yuji just uses his conventional attacks, he's not going to be able to kill Akaza.
Domain expansion.
Which finally brings us to the final abilities that I haven't mentioned yet in this entire video. His domain expansion and the soul dismantle. Now, you might think the title of this video is a bit of an exaggeration, but this here is the main reason why I think Yuji could destroy the Demon Slayer verse with minimal effort. So hear me out. Yuji's always been able to damage the soul since the beginning of the series, and after his awakening, his soul dismantle allows him to do the same but with even more precision and devastating effects. Now, if Demon Slayer didn't really have a well-defined concept of the soul, I wouldn't even be bringing this up. But it does, and since it's one of Yuji's strongest abilities, I kinda have to. In the Mugen Train arc, Lower Moon 1 explains that every human has a spiritual core, which is how we wanted to kill the Demon Slayers at first, by sending these kids in their dreams to destroy them. And if we take his words at face value, once that core is destroyed, the person dies too, no matter how powerful they are. Which brings me to this. Yuji's soul dismantle would in theory be able to target a person's soul, or the spiritual core in this case, and destroy it just like that. And I say just like that because honestly the durability of these cores is questionable, since these kids were trying to destroy them with these little ice pick looking things, so it can't be that much. The way I see it, he can imbue the soul dismantle technique within his domain just like he did in the last moment of the Sukuna fight. His opponent wouldn't be able to counter the guaranteed hit effect of the domain, and if the soul does indeed work in the way that Enmu described it, then the soul would get destroyed and that person would die. Now you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up against Akaza since he's a demon, but all demons were once human at some point, so I don't think it would make much sense for their souls to be gone once they turn into a demon.
Soul dismantle!
And with that, Yuji finishes the Demon Slayer Gauntlet with a flawless 4-0 KD, but you could crank that number up a lot more if you agree with what I just said. Or maybe you think I'm hyping Yuji's abilities way too much. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But anyways, next animation dropping soon. Peace out.